You need to raise your prices. Raise your prices. You're killing the market. How come no one ever says you need to raise your value? We are back again with another episode with Tashawn Jackson. Yeah, being consistent. Anyway, I want to talk about something that has been buzzing in the photography community for a while now. And it's about telling photographers to raise their prices. While I don't disagree with the spirit of it all, I do disagree with the implementation of it. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, industry professionals, industry leaders, thought creatives, all those different things, they always say, you need to raise your prices. Raise your prices. You're killing the market. How come no one ever says you need to raise your value? Yeah, think about that. When was the last time you heard somebody tell you, please raise your value? That's not something that you hear often, if at all. I tend to be the person who talk about that because I understand the benefits of raising your value. If a client doesn't book you, I think you just didn't communicate your value. And that's not always the case, but I think that's within reason. And I'll explain why I believe that. I don't believe that every photographer should raise their prices. I don't. Because you don't deserve to get any more money. You don't. You don't respond to emails. You don't respond to phone calls. You take forever. You don't deliver on your promises. Why should you get paid more? Who wants to reward bad behavior? I don't believe in that. I don't. I learned a concept several years ago from Mike Cologne called the value equation. What is the value equation? The value equation is simple. If your value is much greater than your price, you'll get booked very, very often. You'll be selling like hotcakes. If your value is greater than your price, you'll get booked often. Not as often as someone who has significantly higher value, but you'll get booked often. If your value matches your price, you'll get booked at a normal pace where it should be. If your value is lower than your price, it's going to be a struggle to get booked. And if your value is much less than your price, good luck trying to get work. It's going to be very difficult. Well, the question is, how do you quantify value? That's a good question, right? How do you quantify value? How you represent yourself is one way. You want to build your brand. Think about your top brands that you like to support, brands that you want to support, brands that you want to wear, brands that you want to drive. Why do you want to own those things? Because you've seen their value has been communicated. It feels like I have to have that. I can't afford it right now, but what can I do to afford it? I'm going to give you some tips I think that will help build your value. One, as a photographer, you want to make images that resonate with your audience. Make images that resonate with your audience. Make images that resonate with your audience. Think about how clean are the photos. Are they impactful? Do they move you? Do they feel good? Does the viewer feel as if they were at the event? Does the viewer feel like they can see themselves in your images? That's one way. Another way, get published. Get published often. You want people to see your brand everywhere they go. Not so much so to where they get annoyed by it, but get published often enough. If you're in the wedding space, a great tool to get published, and it's either free or low cost. There's, options there where it costs a lot more, but it's Too Bright Lights. Just Google twobrightlights.com. This is not sponsored by Too Bright Lights. I don't think they even know me there, but I've been published enough times to know it's a good tool to use. And again, you can use the free account. I think it's still free. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. But get published. If you have amazing work or work you think that resonates with people, get published. Huffington Post features weddings. Monaleucci Brides. Brides of North Texas, D Weddings, modern luxury. Think about the aesthetics of the work that you create and identify where can I place my work and get it published. Think about the B Collective. They feature a lot of great images, a lot of great weddings. You want to get those client reviews, have those testimonials. If you can find a way to get your clients to talk about you, that's building your value. Because when you buy something that you enjoy, guess what you do? You talk about it. You might leave a positive review about the experience. Have your clients do the same thing. It's important to get those reviews, be it on Wedding Wire, The Knot, Google, Facebook, Yelp, any platform that allows clients to leave reviews. Get those reviews. Because I know you don't make a purchase without checking out the reviews. If the reviews are great, you make the purchase. Another way I think will help build your value, host a workshop. I believe that there's a photographer or another creative that's looking at you, wanting to be just like you. Identify who they are, teach them something. If you've been in the game long enough, there's things that you know that other people want to also learn. Teach them something. Host a little workshop, man. Just hey, having a workshop might be low cost, could be free. Just to build your following, build your brand that way. Teach somebody something. Because when people see other creatives are leading out, that's some social proof happening there. Oh, this person must be really good. They have 100 people coming to their stuff. Host a conference. That's a significant way to build your stock. Because like what Fat Joe said, Joe, yesterday's price is not today's price. Do those necessary things to help establish and build your value. If you can speak at a conference, that's also another way to help build your value. For the most part, people who speak at conferences, they usually know what they're talking about. And people want to hire those who know what they're talking about. You want to become an expert in your field. Well, how do you determine expertise level? That's on you. But you have to do the necessary work. You have to be consistent. You have to also understand you run a client-based business. It's a service-based business. When somebody contacts you, it shouldn't take you 7 to 10, 15, 6 months to respond to them. There's no one so busy that they can't respond to a client inquiry. You ain't balling like that. Always respond to your inquiries in a timely manner. And timely is subjective, but think about if you contacted a supplier or a business owner and you're interested in their services. How long do you think it's fair for them to take to get back to you? Treat your business in like manner. I want you to think about the brands that you enjoy. Let's say, give you an example. Mercedes-Benz has a $90,000 car. And they said for 30 days, we're going to have a huge special. Every $90,000 car, we're going to only sell them for $10,000. How many cars do you think they'll sell? They're going to sell a lot. Because everybody who really wanted that Mercedes-Benz, who couldn't afford $90,000, they're going to buy it because they see the value is significantly higher than the price. Let's say Apple. They come out with these new MacBook Pros and all these chips and microchips and all these high-tech, bells and whistles. And let's pretend they have a special deal. For 48 hours only, every $2,000 MacBook Pro is on sale for $500. How many computers do you think they'll sell? They're going to sell everything, because the value is significantly higher. Now, let's say those same MacBook Pros that are $2,000, Apple says, you know what? We're going to take a risk. We're going to make more money. We're going to raise our price to $10,000 per MacBook Pro for the same features. In fact, we're going to take away features. There's no USB ports available. There's no dongle ports available. You got to find some way to get your data connected. They said, you know what? Those laptops are now $10,000. How many laptops do you think they'll sell? I don't think they'll sell a lot. I don't think so. Because that value is significantly lower than the price. I'll give another example. Let's say a car. Kia, Hyundai, nothing wrong with those cars. They go from point A to point B to point Z if you feel that lucky. But Kia has a new car It should cost like $20,000, but it's now $90,000. $90,000. The seats are cloth. You gotta wind the window up manually. You gotta pull the seats up manually. Nothing's electric in the car. They call it the Classic. They put a spin on it. What should cost $20,000 is now $90,000. How many cars do you think they'll sell? The price is higher than the value. It's higher. It's gonna be hard to sell those cars. Same applies with your photography business. Think about it. Where are you in the marketplace? Are you good with your customer service? Are your images strong? Are people talking good things about you when you're not around? Those are things that help build your value. Focus on building that. Build the value so much to where people can't resist you. They got to have you. If you say you want to have your value higher than your price, it's your job to determine how much work you want to be doing. Do you want to have the value so high and the price so low to where you book very often? Or you want to have your value low and price so high that it's going to be hard to get booked? And when we tell photographers to raise their pricing and the value doesn't match or exceed it, I think that's bad advice. I said it again, that's bad advice to tell them to raise their pricing and the value doesn't even match or exceed it. Going forward, I need you educators to think about that. There's nothing wrong with raising your pricing, but consider the value as it relates to that. Think about the value. There are too many starving photographers out there. They see people traveling the world. They want to be like them. But guess what? They haven't worked on their value yet. The value's down here. The value's down here. And the price is way up here. And no one's really booking them because they're like, I kind of like you, but we need the list. Value. They're like, yeah, value. So think about that. Anyway, this is not to throw shade at nobody. We can all learn from each other. Again, I don't disagree with telling photographers to raise the pricing, but we have to consider the value as it, you have to think about the value as well. All right. Anyway, we're done with this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. That way you're notified every time I release a new video. Now, this video is sponsored by Tashawn Jackson at TashawnJacksonPhotography.com. And thanks to everybody that's been supporting. And if you like the hoodie here, Dust Settles I Don't, be sure to get it in the link below. And I'll give you a promo code. You can just get you one. Support the channel. And we'll catch you next time. Holla at you.